Hi and welcome to this week's episode of the Amber Tree Wellness TV, your weekly dose of health and well-being. My name's Counsel and I'd like to thank you for joining me. What I'm going to talk about this week is kitchen cupboard remedies. It's a little bit of a carry-on from last week's episode. Generally, when we've got minor illnesses and that going on in the family, the answer to what you need is in your kitchen cupboard. So I'm going to go through a couple of very common conditions that occur, particularly with children, and what you can do with just some simple things that you have in your kitchen cupboard. Now let's start with ear infections. Now a lot of children get ear infections. So rather than going off and getting antibiotics all the time, there are a few things that you can do. Now of course, underlying all of this is ensuring that your child is eating a nice healthy diet and avoiding the foods which could possibly be causing these infections. And dairy is a big issue with ear infections. But let's assume that you've got all that under control and your child still occasionally gets an ear infection, particularly after having a cold. So what can you do? A couple of really simple things. One is just a couple of drops of olive oil. So getting some olive oil in a little pipette, a syringe, making sure it's warm to body temperature, just putting a couple of drops within the ear, lie the child down, a couple of drops in there and just put a cotton wool ball in there and then allow the child to go to sleep. Now quite often that is all that's required, and then when the child wakes up, their ear infection is gone. Now you can also do garlic oil. Now garlic is a fantastic antiviral, and you can crush up a little bit of garlic and get the juice of the garlic and either put that straight in there, but sometimes just using straight garlic can be a little bit strong for children and can sting a little bit, so you can mix it with a little bit of olive oil. So that gives you a little bit more antiviral properties, particularly if it's at the end of a cold and may still be a little bit of virus going on. So having said that, garlic is fantastic antiviral. Garlic and onion is a great way to actually help get rid of these viral infections, because antibiotics don't work when we have viral infections. So there's some really simple home things you can do. So you can either make a garlic juice or an onion juice, both made exactly the same way. And I'll just do it with the onion. You just chop the onion up and put it into a bowl, cover it with either some sugar or some raw honey, and just allow it to sit it overnight. And what you'll have the next day is you'll have a juice sitting in that bowl. So strain off all the onion or the garlic and you've got your juice left over. Juice is quite sweet. Now having a couple of teaspoons of that juice during the daytime will help to fight the virus that you've got. So that's really good. An old remedy too for a persistent cough at night is chopping up an onion and putting it in a bowl beside your child's bed. So because these onions and the garlic have really strong antiviral properties, no one really knows why it works, but it does work, and it actually calms the cough down so your child doesn't cough. And so when your child's not coughing, they can get some sleep, and when they get some sleep, they can get better. What else can we do? If we've got a child who, if they're not sleeping, chamomile tea is absolutely fantastic. Chamomile tea is completely safe for children, and I have recommended it for children who are on formula, that you actually use the chamomile tea as the base rather than just plain water when you're making formula, particularly when we're doing the nighttime feed. And that just helps to calm your baby down so they can get to sleep. The other thing chamomile tea is really good for is tummy pain. So if your child's getting lots of tummy pains and really cramping, gripping pains, chamomile tea will just help to relax it down. So constipation, chamomile tea is really good for constipation because it just helps to relax the muscles and allows them to do their job. Another thing that chamomile tea is really good for is conjunctivitis. Now a lot of children get conjunctivitis quite often, so making up some chamomile tea and then just doing an eye wash, an eye bath with chamomile tea will once again help to calm down the eyelids. And it also, because it actually has antiviral properties in it as well, it'll help to clear that infection out as well. And what else is chamomile tea good for? Eczema. It's really great when you've got really, really angry red eczema. Now, it doesn't get rid of the eczema. You do need to treat the underlying cause of the eczema. But just washing the skin down in some cool chamomile tea will just help to take some of that redness and that angriness out, which some children get when it comes to eczema. The other thing which is really good for eczema, so rather than using soaps, which can really dry the skin out, is oat. So oat milk, and to make oat milk, all you need to do is just get some rolled oats, the type you have for breakfast, not the flavoured ones, just plain rolled oats. Just roll them in a bit of muslin or an old stocking and then put them in the bath and allow them to get wet, and then just squeeze them. And the milk that comes out of it, you use that as your soap. And that's really, really calming for the skin, and it helps to repair it because oat milk is fantastic for repairing the skin. So they're just some really simple remedies of what you can use that are just in your kitchen cupboard. And if they're not in your kitchen cupboard now, maybe you go and get some of them so they're there next time you need them. So let me know, do you have any other kitchen cupboard recipes you'd like to share with everybody else? Just share them down below. Please feel free to share this video with your friends, your family, so they can enjoy your wellness joy as well. So until next week, thank you very much. Bye.